Today is going to be a slightly different day to normal, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not at work today. I booked a day off holiday because I have a scheduled meeting with somebody at a kind of like a startup incubator. It's not for a while, but I'm just getting ready. I need to leave here at about 9:15, so don't let me not do that. I'm longboarding into town to go and have like an hour-long meeting with this guy to figure out what it is they can do to kind of give me the skills that I need to make sure that I don't fluff this up, boys. So yeah, I'm just getting my little bag ready, making sure I've got everything in it. I'm hoping they've got air conditioning because I'm in jeans. Because I feel like I wouldn't be very confident if I wasn't wearing jeans. I feel like if I was wearing shorts or something, I'd feel a bit like on edge. Cool, so the only thing now I need is my laptop. And I'm working on my laptop for a little bit, so just put my longboard there, ready to rock and roll. Otherwise then, ladies and gentlemen, otherwise though, today is going to be a worky day. We're working from home. We're going to get a load of programming done. What I'm trying to do basically this week is really ramp up the programming work that I'm doing to get into that kind of like mindset of just churning out work. I know that there's other things I should be doing that are also work related, and I'm not necessarily doing them. Where's my business wallet when it's at home? Cool, so I only need that. What was I talking about? There's lots of other business stuff I should be doing, but I'm trying to make sure I'm on top of programming and whatnot. Yeah, so I have a list of things I need to do that are like mildly admin related, and the rest are all programming related. And then once I'm like fully in the swing of things, let's open a window because it's getting pretty warm in here already, which is a good sign. Once I'm like properly in the swing of things, I'll start doing some of the stuff that is less engaging. Let's call it less engaging. That's a nice way of saying it. All of the stuff that I know I'm not as good at, which is why it's less appealing to do. What else? Otherwise, yesterday I put in a pull request to NSubstitute, which is the mocking framework I use. A lot of people use MOQ, mock. I use NSubstitute at home, use mock at work. I find NSubstitute is in general better. The way that it works is better, I prefer it. But what I was looking for was a way of basically waiting for a mock to happen. Sorry, not a mock to happen. Waiting for a mock to have an interaction with it, but without thread sleeping. So I don't want to just kill the thread for 10 seconds and then check later. I want it to continually check until a certain amount of time has passed or it's happened, and then stop and either pass or fail. So I threw together a quick like example PR and put it into, raised it against their repository to see what they thought about it. They've got back to me today with a potentially different way, because the way I did it was like a core change and adding a primary new interaction. And I was a little bit dubious with adding it to the main. So you the way NSubstitute works is you do like mock.received carry on. But if I add a dot received within, then it looks like that is like an equally valid thing. But what I'm doing is so niche that it's really not that necessary to be that level. And the problem is if you have something that's like quite niche, really obvious, people will start to do it when they're not supposed to do it. And then that will cause problems. So I was kind of a little bit dubious about that. They've come back with like an idea of a slightly different way, which has some downsides, which I'm gonna have a play with at some point in the future. I might do that tomorrow at work. But yeah, it's my first open PR. I think I've bug fixed for people before and said that I was going to do a PR, but then they just did it before I did, because I was like, oh, I think I found this problem. I think this is where the issue is. And they were like, oh, that is where the issue is. But if you fix it here, it's a little bit further down into the core, and then they fixed it. So I was quite proud of my first ever PR. And they're like, this is a good idea. I've got to look into it. I know it's got some issues because I think the way that it does the mocks, multiple tests, at least on their tests, are running, and it's picking up mock calls from other tests because it's running in parallel. I'm not sure whether that's due to the way that they've set up their tests, because it's NUnit, not XUnit, so it's slightly different that way. But there were problems with it, so I knew it needed a little bit of work. But anyway, stop jibber-jabbing, let's get some work done. It's a good job your boy wasn't planning on taking the car or busting it in any way, shape or form, because the Extinction Rebellion, the like climate change activists, have blocked the M32. And Bristol, by the way, is very susceptible to bad traffic. You could just close one road, like one minor road, and half of Bristol will shut down. It's actually insane how many cars come through the city and how quickly they could all block each other and stuff. I think especially because we have like an intersection of two motorways where right next to the M5 and the M4. So if you block up the M5 or the M4, everyone routes through Bristol. And Bristol can't hack it. It can't hack its own traffic, let alone everyone else's. But yeah, so they've blocked the M32, which is the main road into the city centre from those two motorways. And basically, if you look on Google Maps, it's just red. It's just dark red, the entire city. So good job. Your boy is taking his longboard. I'm a little bit conscious of how hot it's going to be, but I'll survive. I'll survive long enough to get back. Anyway, right, let's pop some shoes on, make sure I've got everything. And now we just cruise in. Who cares about traffic? Not me. I don't have any traffic on here. And any bikes, I'm faster than them anyway, so. Here we go, look, we're coming into the bits now. So they've set up like a little campsite thing here. And then the main bit is at the bridge there. But there's also bits of the M32 and whatnot now. And hang on, I'm gonna have to concentrate for a little bit. Blimey, there's a lot of tanks, man. Damn. Damn, there's a lot more than I thought there would be, and they're in multiple places as well around the city. So it does mean I don't have to wait 10 years to cross this crossing. Oh my god, what the fuck was that? Jesus. But yeah, look, so wow, it's quite impressive actually, to be honest with you. I'm a casual 20 minutes early right now, so I'm just sitting outside, prepping in my head my little elevator pitch and all that shit. Bumped into someone I used to work with 3 jobs ago. Not my current job, job before that. He was walking to work and I was pretty late for him to be walking to work, to be fair. But yes, I bumped into him, had a little bit of a quick chinwag. And now I sit here and try not to get stressed about this kind of thing. I'm quite good at this kind of thing. Well, I'm good at talking to other people when there's like a set contract between the two of us, you know? I'm not very good at talking to people randomly, but I know what I'm here for, I know what he's here for. That's good enough for me. Well, that was a very interesting meeting. Lots to think about, lots to do. Good times. It's interesting having meetings like that because it makes me think about the things that I don't think about or like to think about. The only problem is it makes me feel like I'm winging it more than I think I am. Most of the time I think I've got it pretty sewed up, you know. And then I feel like I'm just a bit of a winger or a bit of a fraud, you know. It's like imposter syndrome. I flick from feeling like I don't know what I'm talking about to feeling like I'm being too arrogant about stuff. It's interesting. It's interesting, like, psychologically, you know? I've been working, like, basically exclusively on my laptop. So I've just got around to transferring the code over to my computer so that I could about to have lunch. And then I thought, oh no, I'll do this. And I'm having trouble. So this project I'm using, there's a lot more .NET Core, and I'm getting lots of fucking grief trying to get this, the tests to run, specifically my automation tests, but the tests in general to run, which is why I was interested. I was only interested because I wanted to make sure my automation tests looked good in there. And then it's just dicking me over. God damn, man. Something about the way that the I'm using .NET Core engine instead of full fat X7 whatever the fuck it is, 4.7 means that it just won't. It's like it's not loading the right DLLs to start with. It's not expecting it to be .NET Core, and it's throwing bad image exceptions, and then not running any tests. Fucking does my goddamn nutting. And the odd thing is I'm running the commands that it runs are running on my computer. They're running on Atlas right now, right? If I loaded up Atlas though and ran those commands, it fucking works. If I run it from the repo, it works. It's something to do with the stuff it's setting up for Azure DevOps, and it's pissing me off. Just going to run it on a hosted agent and just see if that's any better, but flipping heck. does my nut in, man. It really does. I have like endless issues with it's always getting the tests running. VSTest does everything else fine, but it always fluffs running the tests. And I have no idea why. If there's one thing that's going to go, it's that. I'm going to have some lunch anyway. I'm just waiting for this thing. It's because it's running in the cloud. It's like setting up, all the stuff it's setting up takes longer to download and whatnot. So it's doing like full .NET restores, which I'm hoping is like effectively, if this works on here, then I don't know what's going to, it's my computer, but. So yeah, that ran fine. All the tests just ran fine. So what's the difference between that build agent and my build agent? That's the question now, but I need some food, man. God damn, it's nearly 2 o'clock. I normally eat 2 hours ago. Fixed, ladies and gentlemen. Thank Christ for that. It was a combination of the build agent not being configured properly to run and it making logical assumptions based on whether or not it's a 64-bit Intel AMD 32-bit thing. Fixed it though, thank Christ for that. So I've basically got this automation thing done now. The one problem I have is my last test is waiting. My last test is to make sure that the Saga is in a specific state once this process is finished. The problem is it's some way into the process. So I effectively need another kind of wait find on the state of the Saga before I can assert it. That's the simplest solution. But I've been looking at ways of attaching an observer to mass transit so that mass transit can observe when events have gone through. But I don't think there's a way of doing that nicely. Coming in here though, and rubber ducking with you, the obvious solution here, obvious solution is just to put another spin weight on it. Let's do that for now. Let's see if it's scalable. So I sent a bomb-ass tweet a minute ago. I'm saying a minute ago, about an hour ago. And now my phone is going into a boot loop because of how goddamn bomb-ass that tweet was. It's been doing this for about an hour. I've gone into the reboot the bootloader and all that kind of stuff, that menu. And now my only hope is it dies of battery. The battery dies in it. And then that is enough for it to get out of its boot loop. So, fingers crossed. Just gonna Google it. See if there's a solution that I didn't know about for this problem. But otherwise, I finished the problem I was having. I finished that big old chunk of work I was doing prior to my phone dying. It's now got so low on battery, it's no longer boot loading in the same way. It's doing that. So I could really do with a new phone. I could really not do with buying a new phone. Not only was I planning on using that money for something else, but it's also just a shit time of the year to buy a new phone. So, not ideal. Hopefully, by the time it's dead, like by the time the battery hits 0, and it can't even boot up to say it's got a low battery and then power down again, hopefully, if I turn it on again after charging it, it'll kick into life. That's what I'm praying for at the moment. But otherwise, I've got my old phone, but that's not a very good, reliable, long-term solution. If it's broke, and I have to buy a new phone, I'm gonna have to get something like a Pixel 3a or a OnePlus. But the OnePlus is more expensive than a 3a, and I think I prefer Pixel still. Even though I've never had a normal other kind of phone do this kind of thing to me, so maybe not. And I've got to go to bed. I've only got one alarm this morning, so because the other one's in a boot loop. My phone's alive, ladies and gentlemen. It's woken up. I don't need a new phone yet. It's a known issue. It's the second time it's happened, but the last time it happened, the boot recovery worked. This time it didn't. So it's more likely a hardware failure. But what's odd is it's turning itself on, like even when it's got no battery. And it can't turn itself on. It turns itself on, warns that it can't turn itself on because it hasn't got enough battery, turns itself off, then turns itself back on again. It's a very interesting problem to have. Anyway, yeah, I'll contact them. Otherwise we have a day today. I wasn't in yesterday, so I don't know what's happened. I think yesterday was a big day for processing and stuff. So wouldn't be surprised if there's some areas that I've got to look at after that, but we'll find out. I've literally no idea. I don't have Slack or email on my phone that's dead anyway, so yeah, I removed Slack and emails and stuff from my phone because I'm not interested. There isn't a scenario where I'll be at home where I care about this, so yeah, I removed it, which does add to the excitement because I get to walk in and find out, you know, and I can find out about how yesterday went instead of already knowing because I saw or didn't see Slack blow up. There were some problems, but not significant ones. I got the dates wrong. It's in a couple of weeks' time, that big day, so I have to remember to book holiday for that, I think. Otherwise, I'm really struggling to like pay much to get into anything, I guess. And it's not made easy by the fact that I'm helping out on testing, and the thing we keep testing, we do one test, passes, next test fails. So even when it's good, it's really stop, start, stop, start. So yeah, I'm really struggling now. I think I'm in, well, I say that, I've got officially 20 days left. So I'm officially 4 weeks left now, working days. So I feel like I've gone over that cliff now, you know? You know what I'm saying? And secondly, it's pushing Mongo. Is it called Mongo? Yeah, one of them's Goofy and the other one's Mongo. What the frick? Anyway, I have been like specking up some of the things that I need to do. From yesterday, I didn't really go into what I meant about yesterday, did I? What I meant yesterday when I was having that conversation with that guy is we're talking about things that are important, but they're things that I spend less time on. And I kind of, psychologically, I think I'm deliberately spending time away from the things that I don't understand because it's less scary, if that makes any sense. Like, I know how to deliver software and I know how to do that, so I just need to sit down and do it, basically. There are unknowns there. There are things I still need to figure out how to do, but it's a known unknown, you know? Whereas all the business stuff, the business side of it is an unknown unknown. It's just like branching logic trees that I can't kind of grasp. So I kind of deliberately steer away from it because I can't bullet point it in a to-do list style thing. It's like research this, and it doesn't feel as productive as the other stuff. But anyway, as I'm talking about it with this guy, I flip between feeling like I'm bullshitting and just saying whatever I need to say, even if it's not true. Because at the end of the day, I either don't have an answer or I don't have what I think is the right answer. So I'm kind of like saying what I think is, you know what I mean? I'm just kind of feeling like I'm blagging it a little bit. But then I flip to also thinking like, yeah, I've researched this, I know what I'm doing, I've looked at that, I've got a plan. You know, and I kind of flip between those two things of being like, I know how to do this, I've got a plan for it, it's a known problem, I've got to solve it. And I'm like, it's interesting. So I've been like trying to scope up some of the things I need to look into. One of the things I've assigned to Laura, I'm going to try and get her involved in some stuff over the next couple of months while she's still free and not at university. But yeah, it's fun. Just doing research, basically. I don't think I'm explaining that very well. I didn't explain it very well to Laura either, but it's a really weird flip between. Let me try and quantify this again a little bit differently. Let's reframe it. You know what the difference is between confidence and arrogance? Backing it up, right? And I think that's where I'm at. I'm coming at things really confidently and really arrogantly, possibly, but I don't necessarily have the ability to back it up in a way that I'm able to do from a development software standpoint. And I'm kind of not used to that. I'm not used to being able to just say what I believe and have no proof for it, because I'm effectively, I get asked for proof for it and I'm like, I'm not used to that because I can normally self-evidently prove it. And I think that's potentially what it is. It makes me feel why I'm a bit of an imposter, like I'm lying or don't know what I'm doing, because I've either like researched it and I'm confident that I know it and then I put that forward, or I feel like, I think that's what it is I feel confident in stuff and I'm not sure whether or not I should be. And I think that's why I'm flipping between, yeah, I'm confident about that, I've got that sorted, I've got that on lockdown, and then whenever I get questioned more about it, I start to question my own confidence, rather than, it's difficult, it is difficult to word that. But I'm going to go back now, and while I wait for this thing, I'm going to look at business card manufacturers. So that's my next job. There are things I'm confident about, but I don't know how to prove. And there are things that I'm less confident about, but I've kind of tricked myself into thinking that they're the same thing. That's what I mean. I think that makes sense. Actually, when asked about it, those two things sound the same. If someone else asks me and I explained something I'm not confident about or something I'm confident about but can't prove, they both sound the same. Going back to work now. You know what, today was pretty goddamn boring in the end, but I did manage to sort out some shizness around my business, which is good. I've made a first draft of, which I'm not sure about, a first draft of my business card. I'm going to run it by Laura. I've got a company that's sending me some samples so I can figure out what kind of paper I want it printed on. I'm only going to get like freaking like 50. It's the smallest number that they do, and even that's too many. Problem is that the samples are going to come after a deal is finished, which is sad, but that's life, isn't it, ladies and gentlemen? But otherwise, not a day for programming. Not much programming done. We've just been chipping our way through our normal lives. I was going to look at plans for tomorrow. There's chances I'm going out for drinks after work tomorrow. I still haven't decided, to be honest. Problem is that, like, if I want to drink enough, if I want to drink, I've got to leave an hour earlier than normal. That's crazy. I'm not sure. I'm not sure about it, because I could just drive and then go to the... Because the plan is go to the pub near work, then go into the city centre in Bath, at which point I can obviously train back. Oh, it's just so I've got to leave at like fucking 7 o'clock in the morning. That's so early. I've never like gone out. This is half the reason. Like, I've never really gone out with these people before, and there aren't many of them left either, because a lot of people are leaving. This is someone's leaving do. 2 people's leaving do. So it's difficult. It's like I feel like I should at least show my face. At the very least, show my face. But I'm like, is showing my face enough? Maybe. Get a bit hungry, waiting for Laura to come home. Where's my phone? Have a sneaky biscuit, chill out downstairs for a bit, have some dinner, and then we'll crack on with a little bit more work. What do I need to chip through? I might do a bit of blogging. I need to get a backlog. Well, you know what? After a full-blown investigation into psychologically how someone flips over a card, I'm still undecided. The thing is, like, the back of the card I like vertical, and the front of the card I like horizontal. And the thing is, if you pick up a playing card, you know what the other side's like, so you instinctively flick it that way. But if you pick up a credit card, you know what the other side's like, so you instinctively flick it that way. The question is, if you saw a horizontal thing, would you flip it that way or that way? Because I know what it is, flip it on its corner. I'm going to take it to work with me tomorrow and see if I can get other people's opinion on it, see if I can get their hot takes. It was an interesting experiment. I think I like the vertical version of the back enough to change the vertical on the front, to change the front to be vertical to match. I don't like horizontal. So we'll see. I'll show you what it looks like at some point soon. I can show you, well, no, I'll show you when I get it printed. I've got like little mock-ups effectively. Otherwise, we played Overcooked. We started playing Overcooked 2 again, and we realised there's a survival mode where you play it, and the quicker you do it, the more time you get, and then you have to run out of time. Well, you don't have to run out of time. You aim not to run out of time. But I have to go, ladies and gentlemen. I've got to go to bed, because I have got to go drinking tomorrow after work with some new workmates. So we'll see how that goes. It means I've got to bus in. God damn it. Right, thanks for watching, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you enjoyed this video. I'll catch you later.